What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Looks like next week we will have quite a bit to look forward to for game announcements, as we had an AMA on Reddit for the Game Awards, and they gave us an idea of just how many game announcements we can look forward to next week. Actual new game announcements, maybe not even updates on games that we were thinking may have a trailer there, no like brand new game announcements. We're gonna go over that here today, and they also eliminated one that we thought was gonna be there. So yeah, a lot of stuff to go over there. Also, it looks like Phil Spencer just took an Xbox Scarlett home. They made some interesting comments on that. They kind of give us an idea of even some of its features, and another Dragon Quest game might be coming west. One that's actually been stuck in Japan for the Switch, well, since the thing came out. As always, guys, if you enjoy these videos, make sure you hit the like button. It does help out, and get subscribed down below so you can stay up to date on all the gaming news going on in the gaming world. Little red button down there, and then the bell to keep notified of all the updates we do here. We're gonna start today with Star Ocean. It came out yesterday, and to be honest, I even kind of glossed over it a bit and wasn't even thinking about it because of all the stuff that was going on, specifically with like Halo Reach, and Darksiders actually released on PC and Stadia yesterday as well, so I was looking into that. But yeah, Star Ocean First Departure R is now out on the Switch and the PlayStation 4. It is $21, and I went ahead and picked that up so I can hopefully check it out a bit as I have time and give some thoughts as we go into the Spawncast this weekend. But it was something that I just noticed was, I put it out on Twitter and people forgot about it completely. This is I guess, a port of the remake of the first Star Ocean. So if you've never played a Star Ocean game before, people really liked it on the PSP. It's kind of harder to find, I think, now, and it is kind of a collector's item, but it's a good way, I think, to jump into the series if you've never played it before, and it's just, you can just download it. Physical copy is something I would like to see, but for now, it's digital on the eShop or the PlayStation Network. We also had a weird confirmation and then deconfirmation of Control on Game Pass. This was weird. Just in case you missed kind of the, I guess, Remedy kind of setting this straight, we'll go over this very quickly. Phil Spencer was on a Mixer live stream, looked like for Extra Life, and he was talking about Control while he was playing Halo Reach, and he said something to the I guess, degree of, hey, not a lot of people played Control, so I'm glad that it's coming to Game Pass so that everyone or more people have a chance to try it, which immediately we all said, wait, it's coming to Game Pass? Because that hasn't been announced yet. So that's what it sounded like. I mean, it's Phil Spencer. He would know if something's coming to Game Pass. However, then we had Remedy tweet this out. The information about Control coming to Xbox Game Pass, as reported on a recent Mixer live stream, is incorrect. We have no news or announcements regarding Xbox Game Pass at this time. I do think Control is a game that will go to Game Pass at some point, just maybe not for a couple of months. It could be an announcement at the Game Awards as like, hey, it's now available on Game Pass as well, or maybe it's just something that isn't ready yet and they're actually in talks kind of it behind the scenes, but it's early on, and hey, maybe Phil Spencer was actually in like a conference call or something talking about it. It was on his mind and he's playing a game and he just mentions it and then he leaves and is like, oh wait, Control wasn't ready yet. Oh well, that's kind of where we are now. We won't necessarily know if and when Control's coming, but I have a strong feeling it will. And in what is a very odd crossover, I guess, but it's available now, it seems. It was available in Japan first, then it showed up on the US eShop, and that is Witcher 3 crossing over with Daemon X Machina. Okay, sure. This is marvelous. They put out a trailer. They're a little weird with the trailers where they start claiming and blocking and doing all this stuff. So I'll show you some pictures from the trailer instead. How about that? But as you can see, you get to change your pilot to Geralt, or you can be Ciri, which is interesting. That's I'm not really sure how that fits in necessarily to the Daemon X Machina lore. Evan played it more than all of us though, so he might be able to tell us, but this appears to be a free update that is available now and mostly revolves around the content pack adding outfits, body types, hairstyles, and more to the character creation tool, which players use to customize their mech pilot in the image of Geralt and Ciri from The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I mean, it's a cool update. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know anyone who was playing Daemon X Machina and was like, you know, it'd be great if they had the Witcher 3 characters in this game. That would do it for me. But, I mean, it's a free update, so I guess why not? And guys, some of the quick news out of the way, let's get into the bigger stuff. Let's start with the Game Awards. That is going to be next week. That's December 12th, 8:30 p.m. Eastern is when they're going to be going live with the start of the show. But they'll probably do some, like, pre-show stuff. That usually goes for, like, an hour, I think maybe half an hour. But they'll do some stuff beforehand. I think they'll give out some of the smaller awards, some of the ones that they used to not even give out on the show. Do you remember how they would give out, like, like 7 or 8 of the bigger awards, and then you would go to the website and read about who won like I don't know, the esports coach of the year or something like that. They would give away the smaller awards off camera. I think that's more or less what the pre-show is there for, is to get people hyped up and give away some of the other awards. But we did have an AMA, or an Ask Me Anything, on Reddit that took place yesterday, and Jeff Keighley answered a bunch of questions. One of them was about how many, I guess just in general, how many new announcements would be there for games, because we are to the point now where people will, of course, watch and they'll see who wins Game of the Year and maybe some of the other categories, but Game of the Year is the one that a lot of people look towards. However, a lot of us now watch the Game Awards because it's like a mini E3 at this point. Jeff Keighley does a great job going out, finding games to announce at this award show. They had some pretty good ones last year. I mean, I had no idea something like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 was going to be announced there, and that caught me, and I know a lot of people, off guard. Of course, even Joker showing up in Smash was another crazy off-the-wall one, and then we've had some other announcements as well, but now we kind of look towards next week, because this is what he said on that AMA and Reddit. We have a bunch of brand new games being announced at the show. I think there are around 10 new games / projects being revealed if you want to count the things that no one has heard about yet. As always, the internet has a lot of really bad information out there about what you think is at the show, but it sure is fun to read. And then he also followed up because people were asking about if Resident Evil 3 would be there, and he said there are no plans, never were, to do anything with Resident Evil 3 at the show. A lot of these leaks are completely wrong. Nothing about our show has leaked as of this writing, and I think more or less a lot of people were speculating that would be at the Game Awards. Resident Evil 3 had of course, it's basically its cover art leaked at this point, right? That's going to show up on the PlayStation Store, as Sony's, I guess just their store just leaked it. It seemed like people found it through, I guess, publicly available records that were out there that you can look through. And we now have a look at Nemesis, of course, Jill and Carlos. So that is a thing. But remember, we also had Daniel Ahmed kind of hint that maybe it would be something before the Game Awards, which would have to happen in the next, that'd be like the next 6 days or something. So it would be soon. Could happen, I guess, maybe early next week. We'll find out about this game. But 10 game announcements, new game announcements / projects. That doesn't count, at least in my mind, it doesn't count Breath of the Wild getting a new trailer there. The second one, Breath of the Wild 2. That doesn't really count that, right? An update on Bayonetta 3, that wouldn't count that. It would count something like a Smash character, which is, I think, why he has / project in there. That would actually make some sense to have the 5th character in this current fighter pass. I guess that would finish that up, and then we'd move on to, I don't know if there's another fighter pass, or they'll just do individual characters going forward. It could just be individual characters. They don't have to put a number on it, right? They don't have to put, oh, it's gonna be 5 more. We just go along until they say that there's no more coming. But 10 games. Now we all kind of have to sit back and wonder what's gonna be, or what's gonna be the surprise like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, because no one saw that thing coming at all. No one saw Joker coming. So what could they have there? I do think, and this is again speculation, he says the internet's wrong about a lot of this stuff, and that's fine, but I think Batman is going to show up there, not Rocksteady's Batman, but the other one we're hearing that's kind of geared around the Court of Owls and kind of the Batman family. That's something I could see there, and then most likely a Smash character. Could see that as well. But the fact that he says nothing is actually leaked from the show does get me pretty excited, because I think we're going to get hit with a lot of unexpected announcements. It's going to be a lot of fun next week. Even though I know the Game of the Year stuff is all controversial, a lot of us are going to tune in specifically to see new games and find out what's coming down the pipeline for pretty much all the different companies, Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and then of course some third parties. So exciting stuff. Let me know what you guys think is going to be at the Game Awards next week, because we have 10 games / projects to fill out here and try to figure out what's going to happen. Next up, let's talk about, I guess, just another leak. This is really funny. Apparently it showed up on the Xbox store, and it looks like Vanquish and Bayonetta are getting like remasters. Specifically right now, we're seeing them for the Xbox One, and the exciting part would be Vanquish. That's gonna be really cool to hear about that. And what's really strange about this is, like, 2 years ago, it's like 2017, we had these leaked out as a double pack, which appears to be something that's showing up, and then you can also buy them individually on the Xbox One. The thing about this, though, is Vanquish has been fairly popular recently because of its PC release. Back on the 360 and the PS3, people really liked it there. It was from Platinum, but it kind of flew under the radar. And then when they dropped it on the PC with all of the really good enhancements, and of course, it looks really nice, there were a lot of people who thought it would be cool for them to go back and do this big remaster, make it, 4K and all of that on the Xbox One X, I should say, PlayStation 4 Pro, and maybe even throw it on the Switch as like just basically get Vanquish out there so we can maybe drum up some interest for a sequel. That's what a lot of people seem to want. Put it everywhere so we can get a lot of people on board and make it, I would say, feasible for Platinum and Sega, I guess, to really look around and do this. Maybe that's what's happening here. See, because as of now, I guess it's left just, it's like a PlayStation 3 game, an Xbox 360 game, and then of course it's also on Windows. And then Bayonetta is another one that seems to have shown up, but I just know a lot of people are really excited for that PC release. And to hear that it could be coming to the Xbox One also makes me think it's at least coming to the PlayStation 4, because of course that doesn't have backwards compatibility with like a PS3 anyway, so they wouldn't even look at that. And maybe putting it on the Switch as well. I really just want Vanquish to go everywhere, like I said, so we can look for that second one. And to have a double pack with Bayonetta is strange because I know that one is backwards compatible and actually runs pretty well on the Xbox One X as it is. So I don't really know what that's about. Maybe they're just thinking, oh, we can cash in with the double pack, but then it's also separately. You can buy it separately. Vanquish is the one I'm really concerned about here. I can get Bayonetta everywhere at this point, it's pretty much all over the place. But to hear about something like Vanquish possibly getting announced is cool. It looks like the listing that we're seeing is mid-February. I guess we don't have to wait too long. I assume they would have to announce that at the latest in January. It could even be an announcement later on this month, provided these listings are correct, but they're from Xbox, so I assume they are. Next up, let's talk about Phil Spencer apparently taking home an Xbox Scarlett system to play at home, it seems. Anyway, this is the tweet that he put out. Check this out. He said, and it started this week I brought my Project Scarlett console home, and it's become my primary console, playing my games, connecting to the community, and yes, using my Elite Series 2 controller, having a blast. Great work by the team. 2020 is going to be an incredible year. So there's a few things we can take away from this. One, he's using it now online and probably playing against people, and they might not even realize they're playing against a Project Scarlett system. He's not even calling it Xbox Scarlett, just Project Scarlett, which makes me wonder about that name that they'll unveil. It's something to think about there. But also, it looks like it's playing all of his Xbox One games, is I guess what he's saying here. He's connecting to the community. He's using it that way. It's working with an Xbox One controller with the Series 2 Elite controller. Although I think they've already told us that that's going to work anyway, so that's not really a surprise. But to hear that it seems like it's going to be a drop-in system that he's already using on Xbox Live servers now is, that seems like a really good thing to have to really market and possibly talk about when they do unveil it. They're going to do that, I think, a big thing where it's like, it's fully backwards compatible with all of your Xbox One games and any of the 360 and original Xbox games that we've already made backwards compatible for that system. And if Sony doesn't come to the table with backwards compatibility, at least going to the PS4 to like the PS2 and the PS1, that is obviously going to be a disadvantage for Sony. So I guess at this point, Phil Spencer just has a Project Scarlett system playing around at his house, and he's playing it, and it sounds like, I guess it's at least working. And now we kind of wonder if he's to the point now where it's just working at his house. When are they going to unveil it? Because I don't think they want to wait until E3. I mean, they could wait until E3, but then we assume about 5 months out from when they want to unveil it. Why would they wait? Why would they wait till E3, maybe do an earlier thing like February or March, especially since Sony's probably going to do the same thing? But yeah, Project Scarlett apparently has left the office and it's just hanging out at his house. And then our last bit of news, let's talk about Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2. This came out on the Switch in March 2017. In Japan only, though. In fact, it stayed there since it released. It did come out on the PS4 and all of that, I know, but it's been stuck in Japan on the Switch since then. And a lot of that seemed to have to do with it using a 32GB cartridge. I actually ordered one of these, did a video where we cut it open and take a look at the chip inside. But of course, we know 32GB cartridges have been fairly expensive, and leading up to at least till now with Witcher 3 using one to pretty much cram everything onto the cartridge, it might explain why we are now seeing listings from, by the way, a retailer that just told us about Assassin's Creed 4 and like its own little double pack that it's doing like a while before that was happening. So they've kind of been on the money with a few of their listings here. You can actually see this here. And this is from the Console Club, where they do show Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 on the Nintendo Switch. And it's not overly expensive either. And the thing about this game, I guess, releasing is that it's taken so long. Like I said, this is a launch game in Japan. I do wonder how many people would look at this and say, oh, yeah, I need to go get that now. I feel like if somebody really wanted it, they may have imported it since the Switch is region free. I mean, it's all in Japanese. I've checked it myself. It's not like it has an English option. So maybe they have something there that they can take away from it. But I mean, is it going to come out on a 32GB cartridge, or would it just be split with a download? Because if it comes out split with a download, I don't know why it took so long to come over anyway. Maybe those 32GB cartridges are getting cheaper. Again, this is a listing from a retailer that's had stuff right in the past. It's just something to keep an eye on for Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2, possibly showing up for the Switch, maybe going into 2020. And we'll finish up with a comment of the day, as you're seeing here. This is from Grant Campbell saying, it's insane that they're not doing Virtual Console, and it's literally killing me that I can't play Super Mario 64 on Switch yet. I want to give them money and they won't let me. This is something that people bring up a lot for the Virtual Console. And there is, of course, an argument that the subscription service is better for consumers because you don't have to keep buying the games over and over and over again. But there are some people who just want to buy Mario 64 and have it on the Switch. Of course, it has that, the difference is that the Switch, of course, is portable compared to the Wii U and the Wii, where you had a Virtual Console, but the game stayed around the TV, right? Like, you weren't taking the Wii U tablet outside and playing it. That's why I think having Virtual Console on the Switch is so compelling for a lot of people. But we're about to be coming up on what we assume to be halfway through the Switch's life cycle. A lot of us believe the Switch is going to be like a 6 to 7 year primary system. It could still exist afterwards, just as like a system like the 3DS is now, but then we'll probably be on to the next thing. Can they get the N64 and the GameCube out like by the end of there? I mean, we're still waiting to be able to message friends here. That's my concern. But I guess there's also the possibility that maybe a Nintendo 64 Classic is down the road, and we'll see with all of that. I do think the 64 games could be up next, or maybe Game Boy for this app, the subscription service. But yeah, it is kind of a head scratcher, because we all know how much money they would make if they decided to just start selling N64 games on the Switch. And ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna do it here for Newswave. If you enjoyed this video, guys, hit the like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave comments down below about everything we talked about, especially those 10 game announcements, new ones at the Game Awards next week. And then what about Vanquish coming over? Do you want it on, I guess, everything? You want to get it on the Switch or the PS4, Xbox One? Let me know about that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys back here Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time for Newswave.